Well, hello there, Mr. Griftastic here in Mobile Tech Studio B, and today I have a quick Griftastic pro tip for you. I want to quickly create fake student accounts for teachers to use in Google Classroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to create these accounts and we're going to share them with an existing Google Sheet that we've already shared out with our students' username and passwords. Different districts store their passwords in different manners. In this district's case, we have it stored in a Google Sheet that's shared only with the teachers. So I'm going to surprise them and go ahead and add their fake student accounts to this sheet. So my goal is to do this quickly and use my head instead of copying and pasting thousands of times. So to get started, we're going to go into the Google Admin profile, Google Admin Console, and sign in with a super user account, right? Make sure that we have the ability to edit and download users, right? So we're going to download the existing users inside Google Admin. Then we're going to quickly edit them in Google Sheets, right? Super quick way. I've got some tips and tricks on how to do that. And then we're going to download that file in a CSV, and then we're going to upload that again right back to Google Admin, and we'll be done just like that. Okay, so I'm going to jump into my desktop and we'll take a look at what this looks like. All right, so the first thing when we log into our Google Admin account, you can see users. If you have this view up here, you can either click down here under users or right here. We'll go into our users, and the first thing we want to do is locate where we keep our teachers. Okay, so the teachers are kept right here under the teachers category. I want to put them under students, and the reason being is I want to have all the same rights and roles that the students already have. I've already set up in my OU. I want them to be the exact same as when the teacher logs in. Now, if you have different rights and permissions set up in different grade level folders, then it's going to be a little more difficult. You're going to want to move those fake teachers to the appropriate one, to the appropriate OU. But anyway, to just do this quickly, just to give the teachers what they want, which is a fake student so they can log into their Google Classroom. They can create a recording of how to do something in Google Classroom and showcase that to the kids. That's exactly what we want, and that's what's important to the teachers. So let's go ahead and do that first. All right, so we've located where our teacher account is. The next thing we need to do is add a new OU inside of our student account. So you can see they have 0, grades 1 through 6. I'm going to click on Manage Organizational Units right under here. We're going to dive into this OU again here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the student one. And I'm going to click right down here, this little plus underneath students. And I'm going to add something called fake students. Okay, so fake students. Okay, so I've got that OU set up now. So the next step is to go back to my teachers, or back to my OU here, and I want to go back to my teachers OU here, and then I want to click download users. All right, so what's cool about this is it's going to make the template to upload this easy for you as long as you follow the directions here. It's going to ask you what users you want to download, currently the filtered list of users or all user info in the column. It's important to choose this one because the template that we upload, if you put it just like this, it's going to be great, right? So it's going to be exactly what Google wants. Won't have any issues. Then it says, do you want to do it in a CSV or a sheet? Okay, if you're a hardcore Excel person, go for that. Myself, I sit on the fence. I use both every single day. It doesn't matter to me, but in this example, I'm going to use Google Sheets. Okay, so we've downloaded this into Google Sheets. And the other reason I like Google Sheets is whenever I download something, I save that in my Google Admin profile as something that I downloaded just as a reference. It's sort of backing up your users, sort of a best practice, okay? So the first thing I like to do is click on my spreadsheet and double click and expand and make my columns exactly the way I want. Next, at the top here, I'm going to go ahead and name this. This just says user download, and this is supposed to be the date, 09, the 3rd, and then some random numbers up here. I believe that's maybe the time. I don't know. Yep, that's the time that it was downloaded. But I'm going to go ahead and say fake teacher list. Okay? And so I'm going to use this list as a way to remember this is what I did, because later, if Google ever turns on the ability to showcase a student view inside Google Classroom and makes this kind of null and void, we can go back and suspend these just with one click, okay? So, well, a couple of clicks, but you get what I'm going with, all right? So here's the deal. I've got all my teachers in this OU, and the reason this was important to me is I wanted the OU and I could very easily grab this information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this drop down, this little thing right here, and this is equivalent to freezing the column, okay? So that now when I scroll, I know what my columns are at the top. Then I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to click on this little filter right here, which to me looks like a busted wine glass, but to other people that says it looks like a filter, right? So they turn on that filter there, and then I'm going to sort these by last name. And I'm going to make sure none of my teachers have the same last name. If they did, I'd throw in a couple of characters of their first name in there just to differentiate them a little bit. Okay, so right here I don't see any teachers with the same last name. I did see one that is suspended here, so I'm going to go ahead and select that one and hit delete. Okay, any of the rest of them suspended? Nope. Okay, doesn't matter. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and type in student. And in fact, I'm going to do something sneaky here, and I'm going to put $ student. And the reason is if anybody types in the letter S and types in student, all of these are going to come up in that user directory. But rarely is anybody going to type in the name $ student, right? So it sort of makes them hidden a little bit, okay? So the next is their email address right here is this right here. That's the very long email address. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to delete this, okay? Same with their password here. I'm going to delete their passwords, okay? So what I want to do here is go ahead and create a new username or a new email address for these students. So I'm going to hit equals, and I'm going to hit quote student dot quote and, okay, so this is the type of the formula that I'm making so that I don't have to copy and paste every one of these. And then I'm going to go in right here and click on that name right there. So the name of my user is going to be student.teacherlastname, okay? Then I'm going to put another and, which all I'm doing is binding these things together. I'm technically concatenating, but this is the quick and easy way to do it. Then I'm going to hit quote, and then I'm going to hit paste, and that was my school's domain right there. So at whatever your school's domain is, .com, end quote. And as soon as I hit enter, look at that black magic right there, okay? Now, if you were anal retentive like me and you wanted that name to be lowercase, right here up in this corner, you could use this formula here. You could say lower, colon, like that, and that's going to lowercase that view there. So, dang it, I knew this would happen. Whenever I zoom in, there we go. All right, so anyway, I made that all lowercase right there. So now what I have to do is just double click this little guy right here. If I just double click him, it automatically copies all of those emails down there, saving you time, okay? So I always, as a best practice, copy the entire cell, right click, and paste the values only, just because I don't ever want the formulas to accidentally get out of whack, right? So the next thing I want to do is over here to my side at my OU structure right here, it said students and then fake students right there. So I need to fix my OU structure. This is going to be students / fake space students. Okay. And so now what I can do is double click and drag all the way down there. And that's going to put that new OU structure in there. Okay. Students, fake students, right? So that's where that OU needs to be. Let's scroll over and see what we need to delete. All of these options right here are read only. So it doesn't really matter if there's anything in there that needs to be uploaded or not. But I'm just going to get rid of it as a best practice anyway. I am going to cheat though right here, and I'm going to copy the word false. Actually, I'm going to copy this whole column here that says false, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end, and where it says change password on sign in, I'm going to replace this with false. That way it's not going to prompt the teacher to rechange the password. Just in case we ever have any issues, they have the ability to just, retype in the password. So it'll do that there. They won't have to type in a new password for their fake student if you don't want them to. The other thing is, the reason we save this is because later on we can jump back, and when Google does fix this problem for us and allow us to have a student view within Google Classroom, we can jump right into this spreadsheet, suspend all these students, re-upload the sheet, and then we've suspended all of those students just like that. We've closed our little security loophole. All right. So anyway, kind of a cool feature. Now we're to the step where we've downloaded that. We've quickly edited this information in Google Sheets, and it's almost done here. We've got another step. Then we're going to jump in and download the CSV, and we're almost done. Okay, so I'm going to jump back over to my desktop here, and the last thing I have to do is put in a password. Okay, so for passwords, I like to use sort of the same thing for the student passwords and make it just a little bit of a variation. You know, for staff members, they're hopefully not going to be malicious in their intents and use these. So the name of this school, I'll just use a word. I'll call it Imagine, capital I-M-A-G-I-N-E. And then, so that's going to be my start of my password, but I'm going to make these random. Okay, so here's a tip on making randomized passwords for students. I'm going to hit equals, quote, and in quote, right? So then I've got another and symbol right there. And now I'm going to insert a 3-digit random number in there. So how I want to do that is type in rand, and then it's going to pop up for the formula called rand between. If I hit rand between, what it's asking me to do is type in a low number, then type in a high number, okay? So this is kind of nice, but what I want is I want 3 characters in there because I want the password to at least be 8 characters, okay? So I'm going to type in 100. If I were to type in 001, it wouldn't work, all right, because it could potentially get less than 1 number. So you have to have 3 characters, comma, 3 numbers, right? 3 numbers, comma, 3 numbers. So as soon as I hit that, that's the number. I can use this same black magic here of double clicking, and that randomly creates all my passwords for me. I'm going to repeat that same best practice that I always do, which is copy the entire column, right click, and paste the values only. And what that does is that gets rid of those formulas in there. Okay, so now this is ready to roll. I'm just going to double check. I called it fake students, plural, right? Fake students. Okay, and so all I'm ready to do is download this as a CSV and then upload. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download this as a CSV. It's going to download right here. I'm going to jump into my Google admin account again. I'm going to click bulk update users. I could have downloaded a template and manually typed that in all by myself, but that's for suckers. Google's doing half the work for you, all right? So then you're going to click attach file, and you're going to choose that file that we just downloaded, okay? So under my downloads, there's downloads right here, and I'm going to hit upload, and we'll hit upload, cross those fingers, make sure that I did it just right, and if I didn't, hopefully I didn't, because I can show you how to fix any errors. Awesome, I didn't do it right. So it says some rows could not be successfully uploaded. So if you didn't do it right, you're going to get some errors here. So my guess is I've got some errors in here, but now we can take a look at those errors and see what they are. All right, so I'm going to bring this over here. And some of the errors I might get are unknown action. So here was 2. I missed one. There were 2 people with the same last name. So as I'm looking right in here, this one says error unknown, and then people with the 2 last name, and I missed that one. So that's why that one errored out. This one has spaces in their last name, so I should have removed those spaces. And this one says error unknown. That means they're 2 Hugheses. So anyway, I have to go back and change that and fix that. But the rest of those uploaded successfully, okay? So if I wanted to quickly fix those other items, there was Alan and Alan. I forget what their first names were, but I can always go back into my file and version history. And I can see Alan and Alan. If I extend this out, let's see, scroll down to the bottom, I can see, oops, let me sort it and find it where I put it in alphabetical order. A J and a K, Alan and Alan, and then Christian and Christiane. So looks like they misspelled that one there, so I didn't do it. But anyway, that one should be fine. But the first one needs to be a J and a K, so that's easy to fix. And then this one with the spaces in it, I definitely need to remove the spaces in order to fix that. So anyway, you can go back and manually fix that, or I can delete it and start it again. But again, that Griftastic pro tip here of saving this file and naming it, calling it Fake Teachers, putting it inside your Google admin account is a great practice, because when we're ready to suspend them, all we have to do is jump back into this category, into this column, and right here where it says status, new, uploaded, all I have to type is suspended, and then copy this all the way down, and then re-upload this file, and then I've suspended all my fake student accounts. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy, very nice and easy way to help support our teachers who are doing a difficult job of remotely supporting others. Geez, I feel for them. Yes. Anywho, hey, I hope that helped out and have a great day. Thanks.